Hi and welcome to this short and hopefully fairly simple guide to using the system identification spreadsheets within our system. I'm assuming at this stage that you have downloaded a blank system identification and that it exists somewhere on your system, in this case my E drive, sitting there with a bunch of blank columns ready for use. We have here some guide information as to what goes into a basic system identification sheet. We're looking at system numbers, system references, system type, which is a longer description, a word-based description of the short code, then a location, perhaps of the stopcock, for example, or indeed the main part of the plant. If you were talking about cold water down services and you had tanks, it might state where the tanks, as indeed does down here, where the tanks are located. You can put comments in here about the access. This is really just useful comments about whether it's up a flight of stairs and you need certain keys, and perhaps a comment about whether it's safe or not. And also over here you can put in a description of what this system feeds within the building, and any comments that you would want to make really about anything you like but that is pertinent to the situation. It's worth just talking about what we mean by system numbers for a second. So I have a very small schematic drawing here, very simple one, but just to point out that we would refer to the rising main here, shown in green, dotted green, as being mains water, direct mains fed water, and that would be system number 1. There's then 2 cold water storage tanks linked together, and for that reason we would see these 2 tanks as being system number 2, although there would be cistern 1 and cistern 2, or tank 1 and tank 2 as they'd probably normally be called. We're looking at one system, one cold water down services system feeding all of the outlets. So we'd have number 1 for the mains, number 2 for the cold, number 3 in this case for the single hot water clarifier, and perhaps number 4 for a heating system if it was LPHW. So that's what we mean by a system identification number. Hopefully not too much to worry about there. Okay, in terms of the actual spreadsheets, we have tried to make things quicker for you by producing little drop-down lists that you can choose from. So if we went with mains cold water service, which was what we said was going to be system number 1, I personally have a habit of using 01 and 02. No reason for this. You can use 1 and 2 just the same. It's important that you keep the same name convention right the way throughout your risk assessment, but otherwise it doesn't matter. So we said we were going to choose cold water down services as system number 2. And system type, well, we said it was a direct mains fed system, and this one was a cold water down services. So I think hopefully you can see that the idea of the spreadsheet is to make things as quick as possible. There are some standard phrases in here which you can chuck into the spreadsheet to get you started. These are editable, so you're not stuck with them. You can bring them in and then work on them up here. If it's not in there in the boiler house, then okay, we'll take away the boiler house and put it somewhere else. There we go. Simple as that. So they're editable, and you shouldn't think of them as tablets of stone. If you indeed want to actually change the choice in terms of what's coming up in these menus, you will actually find them on sheet 2. They're in the same column order, and I've put a little group of boxes here. You can alter these to anything you choose within each box, and that will then come up on the menu on the front page. So they are actually editable for the system served, describe, access, location, and system type, available to you there, just so you know. Okay, I'm going to close that one down for a minute. We don't actually want it, so we'll get rid of it. And I'll just drop in here, and we will look at one I completed earlier, as they say, and that would be something like an example system ID. Here we see I've gone with a standard convention: 01 for mains, 02 cold water down services, 3 for hot water services, 4 for LTHW. I've described the location in which they're in, and a few simple little comments about access. In this case, they serve a whole building called the admin building, so that's all it says in there. And if I just slide this along a wee bit, in terms of comments, you can actually see I've just popped in here that actually the cold water down service is fed via a base exchange softener. So once you've completed one of these, it's simply a case of saving this again into a location where you know where it is, ready for you to upload it. And that's all I'm going to cover on this particular presentation. Hope it's helpful.